I have a special message for someone today, and while it won't resonate with everyone, if this is meant for you, you'll know we're all on different paths in life. Some of you may have already gone through this journey, while others haven't reached this point yet. But if you feel like this message is for you, trust that instinct. In a vision, I was shown a scroll, the kind that's often described in the Bible, where something divine or significant is being revealed. Along with that, I saw an image of someone's grandfather. However, I believe this isn't just about one person, it represents your ancestors, the ones who came before you. This feels like a message from them, passed down through generations. The energy I felt was strong, as if this grandfather figure had an important role in your life, even if you never met him. Maybe you've heard stories about how powerful or respected he was. Maybe he was someone great, but you only know of him through family stories, never from personal experience. In this vision, it was like a relay race. You know how in a relay race, one person runs with a baton and passes it to the next runner? That's what I saw happening here. Your ancestors, particularly your grandfather, are trying to pass something important to you, like a gift or a responsibility. But in the vision, I saw that you weren't paying attention. You were looking away, maybe confused about your purpose or unsure of what to do, while this important gift was being offered to you. What this seems to mean is that you might come from a strong, powerful, or even wealthy family background, but right now your life doesn't reflect that. You might wonder why, if your ancestors were so successful, you're struggling or living in a way that doesn't match that past greatness. It's like you've heard about the legacy your family has, but you don't see it in your current situation. This message is telling you that your ancestors left you something, a gift or an opportunity to carry on their legacy, but you haven't embraced it yet. The vision showed me that you were standing still in a field, looking away, while your ancestors were trying to hand you this baton, this mantle. It was being stretched out to you, but you weren't noticing. You were too focused on something else, something that wasn't as important as what was being offered to you. It's like you're meant to carry on something great, but you're not aware of it. This lack of attention is holding you back from living up to your full potential. Here's the key point. The legacy your ancestors left is still available to you, but because you're not accepting it, you're not living up to who you're supposed to be. You're like the child of a king, living like a servant, not realizing the power and greatness that is your birthright. Your ancestors, especially this grandfather figure, are trying to pass down their strength, wisdom, or even material wealth to you, but you have to be open to receiving it. You may feel like life is unfair right now, like you're struggling while your family's past was full of wealth or success. The message here is clear: your ancestors left something valuable for you, but it's up to you to take it. It's not going to fall into your lap without effort. There is a responsibility that comes with this gift. Everything comes with a price, and you have to be willing to take up this mantle, this responsibility to unlock the success and power that is meant for you. In the vision, it was like a baton being passed in a relay race, and your ancestors were trying to hand it to you. But you were just standing there looking away, not paying attention. You weren't seeing what was being offered. The message here is that you need to wake up and realize what's in front of you. Your ancestors believe in you and they want you to continue their legacy, but you have to be willing to accept it. This gift from your ancestors isn't just about material wealth. It could be wisdom, power, or a strong spiritual connection. Whatever it is something that will help you in your life if you choose to accept it. Right now, it's like your family's legacy is on the verge of being forgotten because no one is picking up the mantle. You're the one who's meant to continue this line, but until you accept that responsibility, it will remain unfulfilled. Think of it this way: you have the opportunity to live as a king or queen, but if you don't accept this gift, you'll continue living as if you're not worthy of it. Your ancestors are trying to remind you of who you really are. They want you to step into the role you were born to play. You were meant to sit among great people, to live a life of purpose and strength, but you haven't realized that yet. It's like you're waiting for something, but that something is already being offered to you. This choice is entirely yours. You have free will, and you can decide whether or not to accept this mantle, this gift from your ancestors. But remember, if you choose not to accept it, you might continue to feel stuck, like something is missing. If you take up this responsibility, you could unlock doors to a life of greatness that's been waiting for you. The message is that you are the one who can restore your family's legacy. Your ancestors have been waiting for you to wake up and take action. They want you to step into your power, to realize that you have what it takes to continue what they started. It's not too late, but you have to make the choice to do it. Your ancestors and even your spiritual family, what some might call your galactic family, are calling on you to embrace your true self, though. This is your moment. You can either choose to continue living the way you are, or you can step up and accept the legacy that's been left for you. If you accept it, you begin to live the life you were always meant to live, a life of purpose, strength, and greatness. If you choose not to, you might continue feeling lost or disconnected from your true self. Your ancestors are waiting for you to make the decision. It's up to you now. You have the power to shape your future, to carry on the legacy that's been passed down to you. The choice is yours. Whatever you decide, know that your ancestors are always with you, ready to support you when you're ready to take that step. You seem to be at a point in your life where you're having fun and enjoying different experiences, but there's a deeper spiritual message for you that you may not be fully aware of. You're living your life doing what feels good and focusing on what's happening in the world around you, but something important is calling out to you on a spiritual level. Your ancestors and spiritual guides are trying to reach out to you, but you're not noticing because your focus is somewhere else. It's like they're stretching their hands out to offer you something, but you're looking in another direction. This isn't about doing anything wrong or needing to stop what you're doing. It's more about finding balance between living in the physical world and embracing a spiritual path. It seems like you're at a crossroads where you're being asked to wake up to your spiritual purpose, but you're still caught up in the everyday aspects of life. That's totally normal. Everyone goes through phases where they focus on one part of life over another, whether it's their job, relationships, or just having fun. But now it's time for you to pay attention to what your ancestors and spiritual guides are trying to tell you. Your ancestors are watching over you, surrounding you with love and support, and they're calling your name. They want you to wake up and realize your deeper purpose. You might not realize it yet, but you have a strong spiritual heritage that is waiting for you to tap into. You have powerful energy within you passed down from your ancestors, and they want to help elevate you to a higher level. That's why they're calling out to you now. They want to remind you of who you really are and the spiritual power you hold. It feels like you might have certain goals or expectations for yourself. Maybe you've made New Year's resolutions or set some personal goals, like wanting to be in a relationship, make more money, or get a new job. These are all good things, and there's nothing wrong with having these goals. But what you might not see is that your new beginning is not just about these external things, it's about stepping into your spiritual journey. You've already entered a new phase of your life, even if it doesn't look the way you thought it would. It's important to remember that having your own goals and dreams is great, but you also need to leave room for what God or the universe has planned for you. Sometimes we get so focused on what we want that we forget to listen for the guidance that's trying to reach us. Your spiritual path isn't about stopping you from pursuing your goals, it's about adding a deeper dimension to your life. You can still work on your career, relationships, and personal growth while also committing to your spiritual growth. Right now, your ancestors are encouraging you to say yes to this spiritual journey. They want you to recognize that your new beginning is already here, but it might not look the way you expected. Maybe you thought your new beginning would come in the form of a new job, a relationship, or more financial success. But what they want you to see is that this new chapter is really about your spiritual awakening. You don't have to give up your job or stop connecting with people to start your spiritual journey. You can continue living your life while also working on your spiritual growth. It's about finding a balance between the two. Your ancestors and spiritual guides want you to step into this new beginning with an open heart and mind. They want you to wake up to your spiritual potential because they see that you're ready for it, even if you don't feel like you are. There's also a message here about struggle. You might be going through a tough time right now, whether financially, emotionally, or mentally. You might feel like things aren't going the way you expected, and it could be frustrating. But your ancestors want you to know that they love you and they are here to support you. They want you to take your spiritual life seriously because it's through this spiritual journey that you will find the strength and guidance to overcome your challenges. Sometimes the struggle isn't just about external factors like money or relationships, it can also be about our own internal resistance. When we refuse to heal, grow, or let go of old patterns, we can become our own biggest obstacle. Your ancestors are telling you that it's time to let go of these distractions and focus on your spiritual path. They want you to connect with your higher self, the divine, and the spiritual wisdom that's already within you. The universe is trying to remind you of your true nature. You are the descendant of powerful ancestors who have passed down their strength and wisdom to you. There is a legacy that you are meant to continue, but you can't fully step into it until you embrace your spiritual journey. This isn't about abandoning the world or your personal goals, but about realizing that you have a greater purpose that includes both your physical life and your spiritual growth. You may feel like you're struggling to survive right now, but your ancestors want you to know that you are already blessed. There is generational wealth and spiritual abundance waiting for you, but you need to wake up to it. You are the seed of something greater, and your ancestors have paved the way for you. However, you might not be playing by the rules that will allow you to access these blessings. It's not about following rigid rules, but about being open, loyal, and committed to the path that your ancestors have already walked. In the story of Abraham, he sacrificed his own will to live fully in service to God, and because of that, he was blessed beyond measure. You are being asked to follow a similar path, to trust that by surrendering control and allowing the universe to guide you, you will unlock the blessings that are already yours. Your struggle is not about lacking resources, it's about not tapping into the spiritual abundance that has been passed down to you. Your ancestors want you to know that there is a blessing with your name on it, but you haven't accessed it yet because you haven't fully embraced the spiritual path that will lead you to it. This doesn't mean giving up on your dreams or desires. It means trusting that by focusing on your spiritual growth, everything else will fall into place. In summary, your ancestors and spiritual guides are calling you to wake up and embrace your true purpose. You are already in a new beginning, even if it doesn't look like what you expected. By committing to your spiritual path, you will unlock the blessings and abundance that have been waiting for you. Trust in the process and know that you are loved and supported every step of the way. As you walk this spiritual journey with God, you're being invited to discover a side of yourself that you haven't fully explored yet. This version of you is full of potential, waiting to be unlocked, but it requires you to open up to it. Right now, I feel like someone has been stuck in the same place, emotionally or spiritually, for a long time. It's like you've been sitting on the floor, not moving forward. But I see that your ancestors, your spiritual guides, are reaching out to help you stand up. They are offering you a hand, but you're not paying attention. Maybe you're looking in the wrong direction, or maybe you're just too focused on your own plans to notice what God and the universe are offering you. It's important to make plans for your life, but it's equally important to leave room for God's plans. Sometimes we get so focused on what we want that we don't allow any flexibility for what God has in store for us. I feel like this message is for someone who is really determined to follow their own path, and maybe things aren't working out as you expected. You might be feeling frustrated or upset because life isn't going exactly as you planned. You may be wondering why things are so hard when you're trying so hard to make them work. The truth is, sometimes things don't go the way we want because we're not aligned with what God wants for us. There's nothing wrong with having goals and dreams, but we need to remember that God's plan is bigger and better than anything we can imagine. When we try to control everything, we create stress and struggle. But when we surrender to God's plan and let Him lead the way, things begin to fall into place more naturally. You might have noticed that when you try to force things, it often leads to disappointment. But when you let go and trust that God knows what's best for you, you'll see doors open that you never expected. One Bible verse that comes to mind for this situation is Matthew 6:33. Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. This verse reminds us to focus on God first. When we put God at the center of our lives and seek his guidance, everything else falls into place. All the things we worry about, our jobs, relationships, money, success, will come in due time if we first focus on our spiritual connection with God. You don't need to have all the answers right now. You just need to trust that God has a plan, and it's a good one. One thing that stands out in this message is that God wants you to love yourself. Right now, I feel like you might not be showing yourself enough love. Maybe you're unhappy with your life, your wife, your appearance, or your situation. You might feel frustrated or even angry with yourself because things aren't going the way you want. Maybe you look in the mirror and don't like what you see, whether that's something about your body, your face, or just the way your life has been unfolding. But I want you to know that you have the power to change your life. You don't need to wait for someone else to come along and fix things for you. You already have everything you need within you to create the life you want. Sometimes we give other people too much control over our lives. We let their opinions, their actions, and their decisions shape how we feel about ourselves. But the truth is, nobody else should have that much power over you. You have the ability to take control of your own life. You can decide how you want to live, how you want to live, how you want to feel, and how you want to grow. If there's something you don't like about your life, ask yourself what steps you can take to change it. Don't sit back and wait for someone else to make it better for you. You have the power within you to transform your life, and God is always there to guide you along the way. Another Bible verse that came to mind is Psalm 55:22. Cast your burden on the Lord, and he will sustain you. This verse is a reminder that you don't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. God is there to help you, but you need to give him your burdens. If you're feeling overwhelmed or stressed out because things aren't going the way you hoped, give those worries to God. Let him take care of the things you can't control. Sometimes we hold on to our problems so tightly because we think we have to solve everything ourselves. But in reality, there are some things that are beyond our control, and that's where God comes in. He is asking you to surrender the things you can't control and trust that he will provide. You are special, and you are chosen by God for a greater purpose. In 1 Peter 2:9, it says, "You are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession." This means that you are valued and loved by God, no matter what others might say or think. You might not feel ready for the journey ahead, but God knows that you are. He is leading you on a spiritual path that will help you discover your true self. This journey isn't just about finding God, it's also about finding yourself. As you grow closer to God, you will learn more about who you really are and what you're capable of. You are a great person, and it's time to embrace that. This spiritual journey is about awakening to your true potential. Along the way, you might face temptations and distractions that try to pull you away from this path. But you need to stay focused on what really matters. I feel like some of you might have grown up in difficult or toxic environments, and those experiences may have affected your self esteem. Maybe you were raised in a family that didn't support you or didn't believe in your dreams. Maybe you've dealt with toxic relationships or friends who made you feel less than you are. Those experiences might have left you doubting yourself or feeling like you're not good enough. But I'm here to tell you that in God's eyes, you are more than enough. If you've ever felt like you don't belong or that you're not worthy, remember that God doesn't judge based on appearances. He looks at your heart. While people might focus on how you look or what you've achieved, God sees your soul. He sees your potential, and He knows the greatness that lies within you. Don't let other people's opinions define your worth. You are loved and you are valued just as you are. For anyone who feels different because of a disability or some other challenge, know that God loves you just as much as anyone else. You are not defined by your limitations. In fact, your uniqueness is part of what makes you special in God's eyes. You have a purpose and you are here for a reason. Don't let anything hold you back from embracing that purpose. When you connect with your higher self, which is your truest self, you will find a new level of confidence. Once you know who you really are, nobody can take that power away from you. If you're struggling with low self-esteem or self-doubt, you might need to go through a spiritual detox. This means clearing out old beliefs and negative thoughts that are holding you back. Sometimes we get stuck in patterns of thinking that tell us we're not good enough or that we can't achieve our dreams. But those thoughts are not the truth. The truth is that you are powerful, capable, and worthy of all the blessings that God has for you. You just need to believe it and step into that truth. It's important not to let anything, whether it's a disability, a challenge, or negative self-talk, stop you from moving forward. God has amazing things in store for you, but you need to be spiritually ready to receive them. Start by looking within yourself. Ask yourself what old beliefs or fears are keeping you from stepping into your true power. Let go of those limiting thoughts and open yourself up to new possibilities. Live your life without fear and without doubt. Be open-minded and willing to experience something new. Right now, you're being called to focus on your spiritual journey. Yes, it's important to take care of practical things like finding a job or pursuing opportunities, but don't let those things become your only focus. Your spiritual growth is just as important, if not more so. Reconnect with yourself and start seeing yourself in a new light. Stop worrying so much about how others see you or whether you're meeting their expectations. Focus on how you see yourself and what God says about you. God is asking you to trust Him and let go of the need to control everything. If you try to do everything on your own, you'll struggle. But when you allow God to lead, things will start to flow more easily. He will take away what no longer serves you and replace it with something even better. So trust in His plan and let Him guide you on this journey. I hope this message brings you peace, clarity, and encouragement as you move forward. Divine blessings to you.